Hi, and welcome to the third of 3 videos for section 2.5. In this video, you guys are going to learn about what's known as even or odd functions. You're going to need to know this, especially in Math 127 and Math 181. So once you reach that point, your instructor may say, recall an even function is this or an odd function is that. This is what they'll be talking about. So even and odd functions. So first, f is even. The function f is even if f of minus x is equal to f of x for all x in f. What in the world are we talking about there? So if we have our domain of f, if we plug in negative x, it gives us the same function back. And we'll see some examples here. And f is odd if f of minus x is equal to negative f of x for all x in f. So let's look at this. An example. We want to determine if the following functions are odd, even, or neither. So maybe it's not odd and it's not even, so it would be neither. So the first example I have, f of x is equal to x to the 5th plus x. So to determine this, I need to plug in negative x for my function. So f of negative x is what? Well, that would be negative x to the 5th plus negative x. If I wanted f of 2, what would I do? I would plug in 2 anywhere I have an x. So if I want f of minus x, I have to plug in negative x anywhere I have an x. So if I simplify this, well, negative 1 to the 5th power is negative 1. X to the 5th is x to the 5th. Plus a minus x is minus, so minus x. So this is what? If I factor out a negative 1, what am I left with? X to the 5th plus x. Well, x to the 5th plus x is what I started with, but now I have a negative in front of it, which is what number 2 is, tells me that this is what? This is an odd function. So if I plug in negative x, all that it does is it brings a negative out in front of the whole thing. What if I have f of x is equal to 1 minus x to the 4th? Have to do the same thing. Plug in minus x. So there's no x here, so that's 1 minus a negative x to the 4th power. So if I simplify, I get 1 minus, well, negative 1 to the 4th power is positive 1. X to the 4th is x to the 4th. So this gives me what? 1 minus x to the 4th, which is the same thing I started with. So f is even if I plug in minus x, and all I get back is what I started with to begin with for the function. So this one would be what? This one would be an even function. And lastly, how about f of x is 2x minus x squared? So if I plug in f of minus x, the same process. So if you want to try it, go ahead. Hit pause, plug it in, simplify it, see if you get even, odd, or neither. If you did pause, you're back. Welcome back. If not, let's put this in. So 2 times minus x minus a negative x squared. So we get what? Minus 2x. Negative 1 squared is positive 1x squared, so minus x squared. So if I factor out a negative 1, what am I left with? I'm left with 2x plus x squared. Well, I started with what? I started with 2x minus x squared. So it's not the same, and it's not a negative in front because I have this positive that's different from the original, so that means what? That means this is neither. So we saw the three possibilities there. Now, if you are dealing with just polynomials like this, x or whatever variable, y, anything to some power, I'll show you the shortcut here. So in this case, what? This power is odd. This is like x to the first power, that's odd. If every exponent in your function, if it's a polynomial, is an odd number, your function will be odd. In this one, what happened? Well, 4 is obviously an even number, and 1 is like what? This is like x to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1, and in this case, we're going to call 0 an even number. So if we have just a constant and then any other even exponents, that will end up as an even function. And how about this third example? This is even. This is x to the first, which is odd, so we end up with an answer of neither, because we're going to end up with negative signs out of place. So that's it. That's the end of the third video. That's the end of the videos for section 2.5. Come on back and we'll look at section 2.6.